like the not my favorite video games, but just gonna be ranking the video games that I've played. Um, so yeah, it's just these are kind of all the video games that I've played. Ones that I've actually played a lot more, but they're not really like big games or games that like I remember quite that well because I played them when I was young or I played them a long time ago that it hasn't really stuck with me. Um, so these are kind of my video games that I've decided to put on here. I haven't played that much AAA games. I think the only AAA games on here is maybe Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, Zelda, Red Dead, Last of Us, Fortnite, Valorant if you count them AAA games. They probably actually are, but yeah. So I haven't played that many games. These are pretty small amount of games. So I haven't played that many games in my lifetime. But I do very very enjoy games. I very much like video games because when I was younger I actually wanted to become a game developer or a software engineer or someone who works for a game studio when I was younger. And the reason why is because of this game right here that we'll talk about, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is one of my favorite games. But let's get started. Let's talk about my favorite games of all time. Um, my favorite games of all time. Wait, hold on. Let's talk about it. Okay, the first game on this list is Poptropica. Okay, this game. Okay. I've got a lot of backstory about this game. Okay, I like to yap, so I'm just gonna yap about this game. So Poptropica. Okay, this is Okay, I'm gonna put Poptropica on. I like to play once in a while, and the reason why is because this is Poptropica for me is one of the. This is the first game that I've ever played in my entire life. Like the first um, kind of like this is the first when I was younger. The first kind of electronic that I ever got I think it was either a Nintendo Switch. Sorry, not a Nintendo Switch, a Nintendo DS. Like if you guys remember the Nintendo DS. This was one of my first consoles, and or it was an iPad, like a very I think it was an iPad Mini or something, some iPad they released way back in like 2010 or something or 2011. I'm not sure, but I played this on the iPad when I got it, and this was the first game that I played, and this was actually the first game that actually led me to watch my first first YouTube video of all time, which was Think Noodles. I don't know if anyone knows who he is, but nowadays, but I think Noodles was he was the goat back in the day. He was he's absolutely I mean now he's just making kind of like brain rot videos for kids, I guess. I don't know. He's doing his thing, man. But back in the day, he used to make Poptropica tutorials, and I used to watch all of them because I used to play this game, and I was like stuck every island. And it's kind of like a mystery game, like you kind of like go through and solve mysteries. I might even play that today on stream. I don't even know, but this was the stuff back in the day. I used to play this in primary school. I remember at recess and lunch, and in my break times, I would go to like the kids near my in my class, some of my classmates and my friends, and I would tell them to play this game, and we would just talk about it because this game was it was actually pretty popular back in the day for Gen Z kids. I'm not sure, but this is a really good game. I do like to play it once in a while just for the nostalgia trip. Um, Unfortunately, their site closed down and they're on Cool Maths games now, so the only way you can play them is through that website. Their actual site closed down for I think maybe it's because Google stopped supporting Flash or I don't know whatever happened, but something happened that they don't support it anymore. So now you have to play it through Cool Maths games, and I would play it way more, but they didn't really update it a lot. So it's like I play it, but it's not a all time thing. I like to play once in a while for the nostalgia trip. I think I don't even know, but I think Jeff Kinney, the guy who made Diary of the Wimpy Kid, has something to do with this game. I think he was like the founder or something, or like he played a big part in making these islands and games. I'm not sure, but I've heard his name associated with this game. But I do like to play once in a while for the nostalgia trip, and yeah, it's one of my it holds a very special place in my heart. And I just remembered, I can't believe I didn't add Minecraft to this list. How could I forget? How did I not add this game? What the heck? Oh wait. how did I not add Minecraft? This is like the all-time greats. Yeah, there we go. All right. Next up is Fortnite. Okay, bro. Every Gen Z kid has so many memories with this game. It's unbelievable. Every person in COVID, especially in COVID and in primary school. Back when I was in primary school, when I was in grade 6, grade 5, grade 6, this game was like, bro. Back in 2018-19, this game took over the world by storm. When I tell you by storm, like everybody used to play this game. All of my friends, me, everybody used to play this game. I used to play this game. All my friends used to play this game, and this is all we used to play. I remember one time, my first console ever was a Nintendo Switch, and I used to play this game on that Switch at 30 FPS for 9 hours a day. Like I was brain rotted. I used to just play this game straight for 9 hours, and I never got bored, cause like this game literally took over the world by storm, and it's still so relevant today. Like even though it doesn't have its original audience today, it's still so relevant today, and I think it's even got a higher player base now because of all the new generation of kids that are just on this game now. And this is such a big game, and such a big moneymaker for for Epic Games, because like a game like this, if you make a hit battle royale game, it's just like a non-stop moneymaker for you, because all you have to do is just keep adding different skins and items, and players will like keep eating it up. So that's literally the prime example of Fortnite, because everybody likes the game, and you don't have to add any like big updates or anything. Just add the update maybe every once in a while with a new gun or a new meta or some new skins, and people just keep on buying stuff. And this game is such a moneymaker for Epic Games, but they struck a gold mine, a diamond mine with this game. No, but in terms of like how I actually like the game, no, I love this game. This game is so fun. Like this, I used to play this all back in the day. I still play it now. Like I still love to play this game now. It's like this game literally revolutionized like the battle royale industry, because I remember everyone used to play PUBG before. Me, everyone, like all the the kids, and everyone used to play PUBG and Counter-Strike and all that. But there wasn't really a big game that was across all platforms, and also really fun to play. So once this game came out and people started recognizing it, it literally like it brought a new kind of like fresh face to the battle royale genre. Like it brought it brought building with and editing. That is like it's literally like building a particle accelerator in terms of video games. Like this was such a big feat in battle royale industry, because bro, instead of just grabbing a gun, going around the map, hiding behind walls, and you're shooting, this board builds where you can build, box yourself up, you can box someone else up, you can climb on top of them, you can climb up roofs and up walls and make bases. And this is so revolutionary for the battle royale industry. Like this honestly was like a gold mine. And now, like if you look at like people back in the day and you look at kids now on this game, the evolution of people building back then till now is insane. Like kids build, like I'm not even that good. I can't even like I'm versing someone and they build like an entire box around me in 0.3 seconds. Like it's so like crazy. And the evolution and longevity of this game is like insane, chat, because like bro, people like this revolutionized the industry, and just because of that, and because it was so fun and so addicting, and because of the memories I have, I'm gonna put it at love. Like I don't like, it might be cringe or something, but like no, I really do enjoy this game, and to put it below love would just be a lie to myself, because I really did like this game, and I still like to play it now. Like it's a game that you can always go to for this quick entertainment. Hop in a quick game, play with your friends. And because of all the memories too with this game, bro. I remember like hopping with my friends back in the day, and this was back when like I couldn't speak on the game. Like I couldn't speak to strangers on the game because my mom wouldn't let me. So I had to kind of whisper to people, and I had to like I remember whispering through my mic to my friends to tell them to give me ammo. Like yo bro, give me some brick. Like I remember used to having to whisper to my mates to give me some like materials or something, because like my mom wouldn't let me speak. And I remember one time, one of my fondest memories I have with this game is before I moved to PC, I played on a Nintendo Switch, so I still play this game at 30 FPS, and I played at 30 FPS, and the thing is, it's like I played at 30 FPS, and I remember my most fondest memory of this game is logging on and playing a squads feel lobby. So I used to play like squads feel, and I got inputted with a random party of 3 guys, and they were all maybe they were in the, like, 17, 18, maybe in the very young 20s, very young 20s, or maybe very late teens, 18, 19, 20, 21, and they were all just having a good time. They were like having a good time, and because this was a time where I couldn't speak because my mom wouldn't let me speak, I had to whisper to them. So I whispered to them, and then they just started bursting out laughing because they're like, "Oh, you can't speak on the game," and they like we just had, it was just such a fun time. Like they told me to like scream and just like it was just a fun time, because I used to whisper, so they used to like dare me to like scream, so I did, and they used to like laugh so hard, and that was such a fun memory because I used to find it so funny as well. And now that I look at it, and yeah, like I love this game. This game really ruled over like a lot of people's teenage years, and this game ruled over my year 6, year 5 primary school era. So I do enjoy this game a lot. Yeah. Now Valorant. Okay. Valorant. Okay. I don't know about Valorant. I think I like to play once in a while. I like to play once in a while. If I could put it in the middle of these two, I would. I would put it in the middle of these two. But I do like to play Valorant once in a while, and the reason why, chat, is because while I do like Valorant, I don't like it as much as I like Fortnite, because Valorant, it's only on PC and only very recently went to console. But in terms of how much I like it, I don't really know, to be honest. Like I like how it's like CS:GO and Overwatch. Had a baby. That's kind of always the example that everyone goes to. CS:GO and Overwatch had a baby, and it's true, because it's basically CS:GO just with abilities and agents and stuff. So it's really good. It's really fun to play in terms of competitiveness. Like this is a very competitive game. Like Valorant is more competitive than I would say Fortnite, because it relies all on your aim and your mouse precision and your flick ability and like strategy, because 5 people. So you don't like in Fortnite, for example. In Valorant, everyone's good, but in Fortnite, it's like if you're really good at building, you can kind of dominate anyone. But in Valorant, it's like you got to train your aim and your strategy. So it's like it's so much harder to become really good in Valorant. And the thing with Valorant is that I'm gonna compare it to Fortnite because they're both kind of like kind of battle royale ish games. I know Valorant really isn't battle royale; it's kind of team game. But in Valorant compared to Fortnite, in Fortnite it's like anyone can kind of go pro, because like Fortnite holds tournaments, like public tournaments that anyone can join, and anyone can actually like have the chance to win money if they're good enough. Whereas in Valorant, to be actually being like the really big like what's it called, esports, you have to actually like you have to, number one, stream. You have to, number two, be well known in the content industry for Valorant, like the Valorant content industry and the esports scene, and only then you have to be really good at the game, and only then will some team sign you. And you won't even get paid that much unless you're like top of the line, because, and remember, it's still a video game, so you have to keep, like, to be at the highest level in a video game is so hard, because you have to keep on practicing, because anyone at any time can come and just take your place. You have to keep playing that game for basically the rest of your life if you really want to have a career in it and really want to do it. But I do like to play once in a while. I've never gotten above gold 1, so it's so hard to rank up in Valorant, and that's like the thing that annoys me so much, because it's so hard to rank up in this game. You have to play like 5 games to just rank up one part of one entire elo. So you have to like play 5 games to rank from silver 1 to silver 2, and that's just so annoying. Like, oh my gosh, it's so tedious. And the thing is with Valorant is that you can have one so good game, and then the next one is just you fail so miserably, and it's just like, oh my god. But yeah, I'm gonna put Valorant in I like to play once in a while. My next one is Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, I have something to say about this game. When I saw the trailer for this game, I freaked out, because, bro, I like from like ever since I read everyone's read Harry Potter once in their life, right? Like everyone has read Harry Potter at least once in their life. This is like Harry Potter is like the most famous book series that has ever been created in terms of fiction. Yeah, fiction, because like I think J.K. Rowling is the only author that have ever become a billionaire by by her books, and it was well deserved. I'm gonna be honest, it's actually pretty well deserved because in terms of just Harry Potter, like it's really fun to read. Like it's actually really fun to read because the way she builds the characters and her world is her world building is really nice because no one at that time had a really popular series. At least of course I wasn't alive during when Harry Potter was started airing, but from what I know is that at the time no one had kind of the witch wizard kind of world in books, or if they did, it wasn't really that popular. At least from what I know. Um, so when this came out, and it was kind of like it appealed to like a kid audience, but as the books got more mature, the audience started to get more mature, so the kind of writing became more mature, the writing style, because Harry and Hermione, Ron all grew up, so the writing kind of became more mature throughout the years, throughout the books, and yeah, and bro, like the impact that Harry Potter, the series, like the Harry Potter intellectual property had on the world was actually insane. That if you look at it, bro, only billionaire author um creates this series. Harry Potter goes on to become um so much like Harry Potter Wizarding World, like all these it goes on to become 8 blockbuster movies, and then goes on to become all of these theme parks around the entire world, these huge theme parks in the entire world, and all of this money, by the way, like all of this money, a portion of it goes to J.K. Rowling, because she created the idea in the first place, of course. So she's making money. She's making money. Believe me, she doesn't have to work a day in her life after she's made that series, because like so many Harry Potter items and things are done. So many Harry Potter items and things are like bought every single day, that it all goes to J.K. Rowling, like a portion of it. Especially, people watching the movies and buying the movies, and especially people going to the theme parks. Because, like, people go to theme parks every day. Tourists go to theme parks every single day. So a lot of the money is also going to J.K. Rowling because of her creation of the idea. And when this game came out, oh my gosh, let me tell you, I was so excited because the way that it looked phenomenal. It looked phenomenal. All like the common rooms and the house common rooms for this game, bro, they look so good. Like the Hufflepuff common room, the Gryffindor common room, the Slytherin, the Ravenclaw common room. They look so good. They look so good. I was so excited to play this game. There was like dragons. There was this. There was that. I was so excited to play this game. I was like, finally, an actual Harry Potter game. Like I was so stoked because I was like, Harry Potter would be such a good game when I read the books. I was like thinking, if this was a video game, like it would be so good. And then it came out. First they said, no Quidditch. No, you couldn't play Quidditch in the game. They didn't program Quidditch to be in the game. I was like, that sucks. That really sucks. But okay, there's still 90% of the game there. So okay, that's fine. No Quidditch. It's whatever. It's whatever. Then they said, well, they didn't actually say anything else, but well, they said there'll be no Harry, but it's like that's not really a big deal because it's a Harry Potter game. It's not Harry Potter in a game. It's a Harry Potter game, like based on the world, Hogwarts Legacy. It's not like to just like play the books in forms of video games would be nice, but it wouldn't really be like that fun. So that was like the fact that it wasn't we weren't playing as Harry Potter that wasn't too big of a deal. I actually like this version more, but the probably the biggest gripes that I have with this game is that it feels so repetitive for me. Like I know it's not, but it just feels so repetitive. And the reason I say that is because while the story is pretty good, I can't really remember too much. It's you're a student, you get accepted into Hogwarts, you go to Hogwarts, you get placed in in a house. Then you fight dragons and stuff, and then I think you have to like do a bunch of missions because you have to like fight I can't really remember the main story. It's you get someone to be a friend in each of the common rooms, and then you go on to become their friend, and then you two go on to become like someone who like oh yeah, there's you have to go through these like dungeons and portals and stuff and kind of kill the boss there, and then at the end you have to you know when you learn more stuff, you like I think you like have a big fight with the oh yeah, that's right, you have a big fight with the goblin at the end, the goblin. In terms of the story, that's actually really good. I really did love that game. I did I really did love that game. Like I love the story part of the game. That was actually really fun to go through the dungeons and to learn different kind of to learn different spells and stuff, and then to finally go on to kill the goblin boss. That was so fun. My goodness, that was so fun. Um, and you know, but in terms of like the story was really good. I really did enjoy the story. I enjoyed how you went to Hogwarts. I enjoyed the fights, the mini boss battles with the goblins, the boss battles in the dungeons. I really enjoyed that, and it's pretty hard. But in terms of the gameplay elements, that's where I really have the gripe at. The story is good. The gameplay elements, it's good, but it's not. It's not like it was so much lower than what I expected. Because what I mean by that is that the gameplay elements, especially the like I know they couldn't put every single spell in the game, because I mean, what can you do? It's such a big world. You can't put every single spell that has ever been in the Harry Potter universe inside the game, right? Because it's going to be a lot to code, a lot of stuff, a lot of work, extra work. So I understand that aspect. But once you finish the main story, there's just not a lot to do. There's not a lot to do, and once you do it, it becomes a bit repetitive. For example, I really like the common room and stuff like that. I can't remember if there was too many side quests in there, but the side quests is that I feel like most of the side quests is just like, go here, fetch that, come back here, give me that, go there, fetch that, come back here, give me that. And in a lot of games that just doesn't work, and for good reason, because it's just fetching quests, and while it's cool, it doesn't really add anything or tell a kind of small story on the side. I know it's hard to create like a big kind of side quests that are really meaningful. I know it's a lot to code, a lot of extra work, but it just feels like all you can do in this game after you've completed the main story is you can go maybe have a duel with some kids in the common room and stuff, and maybe explore the world, which is really cool. But once you get outside of Hogwarts, like the castle, it just becomes really kind of like boring. And the reason I say that is because there's like dungeons around the world, I remember, that you can go into, like these little caves. You kill a bunch of spiders and a bunch of bosses and stuff, and maybe you kill a big spider here and there, do some combos. And then you go and collect chests. And in these chests, from what I can remember, is that there's a random item in the chest. Literally, whatever's in the chest is RNG. So you can go through the entire dungeon as spending 5-10 minutes to go through an entire dungeon, clear it all, and in the end you get a grey item, or you get an item that you already have 10,000 of, or you get an item that is literally no use to you, it's not cool at all, you already have it, such a low ranking item, and that is just so annoying. Like, it doesn't give the player the satisfaction that the player is craving, so it just makes you kind of hate the aspect of the game. And it's just that multiplied 300 times all around, because there's about like 300 caves or something like that around this world. So it's just that multiplied 300 times. And then if you go even further, there's a bunch of shops and stuff where you can buy potions and stuff like that. But there's just not really that much to do, and everything that there is to do is just repetitive in my opinion. So while it is great exploring the castle and Hogwarts and stuff like this, everything else just feels so repetitive. And I know you can rescue rescue people and put them in your common room and stuff, and that's really cool. But it just feels like so repetitive. It just feels pointless. You know what I mean? Like the story is so good, but once you finish the story, there's just not much to do, and it's just so repetitive, and it's just I hate it, man. And that's why I literally haven't touched this game since I finished the main story. But in terms of like the visuals and everything, and the actual like bring the Harry Potter universe into the game, phenomenal. They did a phenomenal job with that. I love the mini boss battles. I loved going through Hogsmeade. I loved. I don't think there's Diagon Alley. I don't think there's a Diagon Alley in this in this universe, which kind of sucks. So the Quidditch and no Diagon Alley. I'm pretty sure there's no Diagon Alley as much as I can remember. I definitely know there's no Quidditch though. Quidditch. I hated those aspects of the game. Like, I know it's a lot of work to do it. But come on, bro. If you're making a Harry Potter game, you got to add Diagon Alley, and you probably got to add Quidditch as well. So I hated that. But in terms of everything else, it was really good. The story, amazing. Side quests and things to do after the story, it really failed in my aspect. So I'm gonna put it at the thing is, I would put it at I like to play once in a while, but that's just really not true. Because again, I haven't picked it up since it released. Actually, when did it release? It released in 2023? It only released 2 years ago? No way. What? Wow. Wow. Bro, it felt like it released back in 2020. What the heck? It only released 2023? Damn, well, I haven't touched that game since 2023. I might actually play it today on stream. I don't know if I have time. But I have not touched this game since 2023. So I'm going to put it at meh. Because I would put it at I like to play once in a while. But that's just really not true. So I'm going to put it at meh. I'm going to put Valorant above Poptropica as well. Because I do like Valorant a bit more. But Poptropica obviously gives me the nostalgia that no other game does. But I'm gonna put it at if I could put Hogwarts in the middle of meh, and I like to play once in a while, I would. But I'm gonna put it at meh. Next up is Elden Ring. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not finished Elden Ring, but in terms of okay. Well, I thought I was good at video games until I played Elden Ring. I didn't know what a Soulsborne game was until I played Elden Ring, and a lot of people didn't know because Elden Ring was so like popular. Like I never heard of Bloodborne, I never heard of Demon Souls 3 or Dark Souls 3. Sorry, I never heard of these games. I only heard of them once Elden Ring came out because Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and so many people were talking about Elden Ring. So, I decided to give it a try, and while I haven't finished it, I can tell that this game. The thing with I think Soulsborne's game is that they have a really committed audience. Soulsborne games. Oh, is it Soulsborne game or Souls games? I think it's Souls games. Souls games. The thing with Souls games is that it's not gonna be for everybody. That is the thing because Souls games are like really video games. When people think of video games, they usually think of like bosses and killing the boss and doing this to the boss. And a kind of like all boss fights and everything, and Souls games are literally just that. It's just boss fight after boss fight after boss fight after boss fight. Boss fight, upgrade your gear. Next boss fight, upgrade your gear, and people love it, and I love it too because it literally encapsulates like what people think of the stereotypical video games is boss fights and stuff like that. Like. In terms of like the story and the lore, I don't really think it's a story. I don't really think there's like a story in Souls games. There's definitely lore, but I don't think it's a story game. It has a lot of lore, but it's not really a story game. In terms of the lore, I really like watching lore videos in Elden Ring because there's a lot of lore. But in terms of like the game itself and what it's trying to achieve, it's phenomenal at that. It's phenomenal at what it's trying to achieve, which is giving a player a challenging experience but a rewarding one. It's so well done at that, giving the player a challenging experience but a rewarding one. Because hold on, let me just put on this beanie. It's so good at giving the player a rewarding experience when you kill the boss. Because like when you kill the boss in Elden Ring, it just feels like so rewarding. Like, oh my gosh, holy, I finally did it after like 300 tries. But the reason I haven't finished it yet is because I just haven't killed all the bosses yet, I still have yet to upgrade my gear. I think I have maybe like 10 more bosses, maybe five more bosses to kill, 5, 6 more, I think. But Yeah, like it's hard, bro. Like this is Souls games are really video games. Like they are video games. I used to think I was good at video games and video game bosses before I played this game. Um, yeah, no, I love this game. I love this game. Like what it's trying to achieve, it does so well at what it's trying to achieve. Like it's a really good game at what it's trying to achieve, which is giving the player a rewarding experience, a challenging experience, and a Souls game. Because you can, it's like Elden Ring is such a replayable game. Like it's not a battle royale, but it's so replayable because you can just go and become, you can become a wizard or a mage class for the first playthrough, and then for your next playthrough, you can become like a blood class or something like a bleed class or whatever. So it's a really good game. Okay, I have a lot. I'm sorry, bro. I know I'm a yapper. I'm a yapper. I love to yap, but these are my thoughts on these games and how much I love them. But now we're on to the big four. Actually, the big five because I forgot to add TOTK. I have no idea how I forgot to add this game, but this game I forgot to add it. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Okay, let's talk about Breath of the Wild first. Okay, Breath of the Wild. Okay, this game, Breath of the Wild. Okay, this was my first ever video game that I have ever played in terms of a AAA game. This was the first AAA game that I ever played. Because when the Nintendo Switch came out, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was heavily advertised with it. Because they came as like a bundle. They were like, oh my god, look at this. Nintendo was like, look at this new console that we have. Portable. You can take the controllers off. Insane. Nintendo's all about, the whole company is all about the portable consoles, you got PS4, you got Sony, you got Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox. They're all about the big tower consoles you put in your house. Everyone has them. You hook them up to your TV, you get to play it. PCs are not for everyone because they're really expensive and they're just huge computers. They're bulky. They're only really good for if you really like playing games with like the highest graphics quality. But PCs aren't for everyone. It's mainly consoles that people enjoy because it's such an easy thing to put in your house. It's not that much money, at least compared to a PC, and people just people just love it. But Nintendo Switch, when it came out, this was heavily advertised with it. And my first, so basically my console journey or my electronics journey went from a iPad to a Nintendo Switch to a PC. That's a huge jump from Nintendo Switch to a PC. I know my parents are very generous. Thank God. I don't even know why they bought me a PC from a Nintendo Switch because I would not have done that in a million years if I was an adult to my child because there's no way I'm buying them such an expensive PC. I don't know why my parents did that, but thank God I'm very grateful for that. But in terms of yeah, so this was so basically when I got a Nintendo Switch, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the first game that I ever played with that, the first AAA game. So it holds a very special place in my heart. I'm gonna put it at love, and I'm gonna put it at the start of love. And the reason why is because I love it, bro. I really do. In terms of the gameplay, I love the story. I know it's not much of a big story. Okay, I'm not. Okay, this was the first Zelda game that I ever played, so I know that I'm not gonna have the most critical take on it because I haven't played the other Zelda games. But this was a lot of people's first Zelda game as well, and it's such a great intro, because it's this. I love the start of the game because at the start of the game you wake up as Link, you go, and there's this start of the game where the music just runs in, and you just run. Link just runs to a spot, and then the camera pans across the entire world with the music, the hearty music, and it's just so uplifting. And it's like I can see a volcano in the distance. Can I go there? And the game's like, yes, you can. So it's so good because the open worldness of this game was just so insane. Because I'm pretty sure Zelda games were and Zelda games is such a linear storyline, and then this was the first open world Zelda game, and I love that. It's so good because you can just travel anywhere at any time if you want. If you want, you can go straight to the castle, the Hyrule Castle, at 3 hearts, no stamina, and try rescue Zelda. And that's just so fun to me. Like, this was the first game I played, and this made me fall in love with open world games. This game, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is the reason why I love open world video games so much. Is because of this game right here. I think it perfect. Like, in terms of all the video games that I've played, this is like my most favorite open world game because it's just so nice. The music is just so Nintendo like. It's such a specific type of music that I love. The sound design in this game is so good. The shrines in this game, I know a lot of people complain about the shrines. I know a lot of people are hardcore, Zelda fans and big fans of this franchise. So there's a lot of debate surrounding that. But because this was my first Zelda game, I fell in love with the shrines. I love the mini puzzles. I've completed every single shrine in the game. I've kind of maxed out the first game because I loved it so much. I think I have around 1,000 hours in that game. I spent a lot of time in Breath of the Wild because I love the game so much. It's one of my first games. It holds a very special place in my heart, and it was my all-time favorite before I played another game that I have on this list, which I'll get to it when I come to it. But yeah, Zelda, I fell in love with it. The story is very simple, but it's so nice. It rescue the damsel in distress, rescue Zelda by getting gear, fighting the boss. The bosses in the dungeons were really fun. The bosses in the big animals, the divine beasts, they were fun, but they weren't that hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. The bosses in this game weren't really that challenging. The Lionels in the game, the mini bosses, was so much more challenging than the actual final boss, Ganon. Ganon was so easy. Ganon was a piece of cake compared to the Lionels, bro. The Lionels in this game was so hard to beat compared to Ganon, bro. So yeah, another complaint I have with this game that a lot of people do as well is the durability of the weapons. They're very easily breakable. So whenever I got a good what I'm talking about, a good weapon, I always find myself saving it for a later date, but then I end up never using it. I always end up saving my really good weapons for a later date, for a later boss or something, but then I end up never using them in the first place because I'm just so scared that they'll break so easily. So I just never use them. I use all the easier weapons I have, like the less good weapons I have first. So that was a really big gripe I had about this game as well. Like, it never felt really rewarding when you got a good weapon because it's like, oh my god, I have to save this instead of I have to use it. So yeah, but in terms of the music and the open worldness, that's literally all it takes for me to put this game in the love category, because I love the game. Like, that's all it takes for me to put it in the love category, is that it's open worldness and it's open worldness and it's sound design and it's music. And the reason why I love this so much is because there's different regions of the game. The map is so big, and you travel to these different regions in the game. You can travel anywhere you like. It's literally open world to the max. No linear storyline. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, tackle the divine beast in whatever order you want, and still have the same ending and still have such a good experience with the game. So you can go, So I love how there's different regions, and I love how there's different tribes and kind of villages. I love the Burrito village. I love Kakariko village. I love the Goron village. I love I forgot what it was. The one with the only woman village. The one where you have to be a woman to enter. No men allowed. I forgot the name for that. But I love those. I love how, like, I love all the I love, like, the mini games that you have to do, like the not the mini games, or the quests that you have to do in order to rescue the divine beasts from each village. For example, I love how you have to go and you have to, like, you have to try find the guy who's the guy who's, like, selling the women clothes, selling the women clothes to get into the village, and you have to kind of find him. The game doesn't really tell you, but you have to interact with different NPCs, and they give you different hints to where this guy is, and then you have to kind of discover where he is, the underground cellar. Then you have to talk to him. Then you have to go to the village. Then you have to buy the clothes from him. Then you have to go to the village, and to go to the chief of the village. You have to learn about what happened to the chief. Learn about what happened to the previous, the people who control the divine beast. You have to learn what happened to them. And each village has such good mini side quests that, like, they're so good. For example, one in in the village of in the village where the village I was just talking about, the one where you have to be a woman to enter. There's one woman in that village where it's like she wants to marry a man, and then later and I think you help her marry a man or something, and you help find a man, or you help find a man who wants to marry a woman from that village as well, and then you make them have and then what happens is that you make them get married, and then basically they go buy a huge plot of land, and then you basically help them build that village. So across the entire game, you have this whole other mini side story, and you basically help them create this entire village, and then after that, you see this beautiful cutscene of them getting married, and then after that, you can go to that village and you can actually buy different items from that village. So all that story was for nothing. Like, you can actually go and buy tangible items that can help you in your quest for that village, and you can buy stuff and sell stuff, and that's so good. That's literally like the best side quest. That was like for the first game that I ever played, AAA game that I ever played. That's so good. Like, I love that. What the hell? Like, that's sorry, what the heck? That's like that's such a good thing to do. Like, I love that. So that was that. Like, the side quest in this game is so good, and there's like a big side quest for kind of every kind of village, and that's just so amazing. Like, I love the character design and the open worldness, because it just really feels like open world, because you meet so many different people, so many different good side quests, and that's the reason why I put it in love, because that's what I love about the game. So yeah, holds a very special place in my heart. And now let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, I think I'm yapping a bit too much. I'm not going to really yap with this game a lot more. But in terms of Tears of the Kingdom, this is just Breath of the Wild 2.0, but just hundreds of times better. While things are the same, there is just so much. The gameplay elements are just so much better. So instead of, like this, you can now you can stick different items together, make them more durable and make them more powerful. So now you can actually, you're not afraid of using your more powerful weapons later, but you can use your more powerful weapons now, and that's just so good. So that's one of the things that I absolutely adore about this game, is that Tears of the Kingdom was so good. In terms of the story, has a much better story in my opinion, but I can't really remember the story that well, because it's been a kind of while since I played it. I don't have as much hours on this game as I do Breath of the Wild. That's just probably because I got a bit older, and I just don't have the time anymore. And Breath of the Wild was just such a first experience for me that it's just, I fell in love with it. In terms of the shrines, they're good. In terms of like they're much bigger, I think, in these shrines. So the dungeons obviously have a big debate again, because the people who are like really diehards of the franchise have big debate on whether they love it or they didn't. Personally, I loved it. It was much more harder than the Divine Beasts, but that was alright, because I love figuring that out. So the puzzles were really fun to do. The bosses in this game were so much harder. Ganon in this game was top notch. Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom was top notch boss. He's just so much more harder than he was in the previous game. Like, it actually took me so much more tries to beat this Ganon than it did on Breath of the Wild. So this Ganon was so much harder, so much better, and he actually felt the Ganon in this game actually felt so much more scary than the previous Ganon, because he was actually a big dude, big muscles, big boy, and you have to fight him at the end, and he's actually intimidating. The Ganon in this game is so much more intimidating than the Ganon in Breath of the Wild. So I absolutely adore that. I love that. The Ganon in this game is just so much harder, so much harder to beat than the Ganon in Breath of the Wild. So I love that. What else? Yeah. So the different machines you can build, insane. I'm pretty sure the idea for that came from the first game, where people used to stick balloons where they go from octopuses to like different kind of things, and see if it worked to bring you up, and then it did. So then they took that kind of meme from the first game and actually implemented it as a huge gameplay feature in the second game, and that's just so fun to do. Like, you can actually stick stuff together and make fully worked machines and just use them to destroy enemies, and that's just so fun to do. So this game is so much more fun than the first game, so I'm going to put it in love as well. I'm gonna put right next to the first game. The reason why I don't put it above the first game, even though I think it has a better story and stuff, is because the first game just holds such a special place in my heart. That's the only reason why. And because the second game, I've already explored this Hyrule before, you know, like I've already explored the Hyrule before, and in terms of the depths and the Sky Islands, they're so good, but they just don't have that much flavor to them. Like they were advertised as such a big thing and kind of like a second Hyrule or a second kind of like they were added as kind of two different dimensions into the one big game. But they weren't actually all that. Like they were big, but apart from the main Sky Island, the other Sky Islands were kind of just the same thing, kind of repetitive, kind of like Hogwarts Legacy in my opinion. Same as the underground. There was one big place in the underground that you could go to, but in terms of like what's under there, it's kind of just the same thing. A lot of bosses, a lot of really hard bosses, hard enemies, but it's just the same kind of thing. It's just, you know, the same kind of it just gets a bit repetitive, you know what I mean? So that's and also the cutscenes in this game are just so annoying. Like what the cutscenes in this game in Tears of the Kingdom just felt like the developers made 90% of the game and then just didn't care about the rest, because the cutscenes in this game were the same for every single dungeon. Every single dungeon had the same exact cutscene. Like it was just like I had no, like, in terms of story, this game did have a better story in terms of what happened in Zelda. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the cutscenes were all just the exact same. I hated it. I didn't like it as much, so I'm gonna put it behind that. But it's still a really good game. Yeah. But the first one is just more special for me. Okay, Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay. Red Dead Redemption 2. In this game, I'm gonna be honest to you, the first time I played this game was I think last year, and I'm gonna be honest with you, on my first playthrough, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Then I watched another YouTuber play it, or I watched someone else play it. I forgot who, but I did watch someone else play it, or like I watched a different kind of thing, and then I went and played it again a little bit, and I was so wrong. This game is a masterpiece. Red Dead Redemption 2 is so good, because the first time I played the game, the thing with Red Dead Redemption 2 is that because it's such a big game, you have to play it in kind of a big way. Otherwise, if you play it in chunks separately, you kind of start to forget it. Because for me, I think I played Red Dead Redemption 2 in the wrong way. In that I played the game, and I played I played little chunks separately. I played maybe like I played 1 hour here, and then I played 1 hour there, and then I played 1 hour there, and they're all like spaced 3 weeks apart. So by the time I played the game the next time, I already forgot what happened the last time. Like I forgot all the characters' names because there's just so many, and plus I wasn't paying that much attention, which I know I should have, but like it was just really forgetful for me. So I didn't really understand what happened with the story, and I know this was a story game, so it didn't really feel that impactful to me. But then the second time around I came and played it, I actually paid attention, played a bit more each time, and I enjoyed it so much more. Because then I read Arthur's journal, and you can see his progression from the start to the end of the game. You can see how Arthur kind of hates what he does, but he does it because he feels like he owes something to the gang, because that's his whole lifeblood. That's his family. The gang, the Dutch Van der Linde gang, that's his family. That's who he is. He hates the stuff that he does. He admits that he's a robber, a murderer, a killer. He admits he's a bad man. He does bad things. He's an outlaw. But he does this stuff that he does because he feels justified in doing it, because he feels he needs to take care of the gang. He feels justified in the stuff that he does because he knows that it's for the good of the gang, or he wants it to be for the good of the gang. So his life is the gang. And then I love how you play these huge missions, and then you see the gang falling apart, and you see Arthur start to care less and less about Dutch, and he feels less and less loyal to Dutch and the gang. So he starts rescuing certain people in the gang. you can see from the start of the game to the end of the game, you can see how like it's all about money. You know, Arthur, we need more money. Arthur, we need to get this money. Arthur, we need to rob this bank. And through all of that, through all of these, things that the whole game, the Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a long game. And throughout the whole game, throughout all these missions and stuff, you start to see Arthur change and Dutch change. You start to see Arthur through his especially, spoiler alert by the way, especially when he gets TB, tuberculosis, and you can see who he got it from. That man that he had to beat so that man that he beat to death, ironically gave him the illness that would beat him to death, TB. So he beat that man to death. That man died, and then he got TB from that guy. And then there's a side quest in which you find that family again, and then you kind of help them get back on their feet. And he died, and then Arthur through these actions, he starts becoming a bit more better of a man. He starts to gain a bit more honor, because when he starts dying himself, he starts to do good deeds for himself, and he starts to help the gang out. So instead of all about money, he starts to ignore Dutch. He starts to ignore Dutch's crazy plans about money, because at the start it was like, okay, we're in a gang, we need money, let's go. At the start, everyone loved Dutch. At the start, everyone loved Dutch and wanted to help him and help the gang get back to their feet. And they didn't really care that Arthur was doing bad things. But then, as the game progressed, and as more and more people from the gang died, spoiler alert, Hosea, Lenny, Sean, as all these guys started dying from the gang, and there was just too much bloodshed, and all Dutch cared about was more money. But each time they tried to get money, their plan failed horribly. Arthur, understandably, started to lose trust in Dutch. So he starts to become less loyal to Dutch. Especially when Dutch starts to use the native Indians to his advantage. And then Arthur starts becoming a better man, and you do these side quests, and the side quests and the open worldness in the game is so good, because the honor system in this game is so good in the fact that as you do more quests and you get more honor or less honor, people start to treat you differently. And the side quests in this game are just so immaculate, because it feels like wherever you go, it's not like Hogwarts Legacy, because it's not repetitive. It feels like wherever you go, there's something new to do. You can go here to kill this legendary animal. You can go here. You can find a random house in the middle of the woods and have a side quest in that. And you can go and you can find people you can find public hangings. You can find people being hanged in public, because it really feels like you're in a Wild West America. You can find people getting hanged. You can find people who are robbing other people. You can find NPCs that need help, and that's so good. The open worldness in this game is top tier. Best open world, even better than Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The open worldness in the game is top tier. Top tier. That's why I'm gonna put it in the start of love. I love this game. You can see Arthur change. You can see how after Hosea died, it impacted him so much, because he was loyal to Dutch, but Hosea was like his middle ground. He's kind of a person who challenged Dutch, his ideals, and kind of brought Arthur back to the earth. And you can see how Arthur, he grew up with the gang. He was loyal to the gang, but throughout the game, he starts becoming less loyal to the gang. He starts to care about people he loves more, tries to risk it all, and he eventually, big spoiler alert, he eventually passes away. And depending on what honor you had, he passes away in a good way or a bad way. And he helps John get back on his feet. He helps John reunite back with his family, and then the whole gang is fell apart. And that way, the way that it's told is so beautiful. In terms of story, this game is top notch. Top notch. If you've got the time for it, this game is really, really good. If you've got the time for it, it's really good. One of the things that I will say that really bugged me about this game is that the time it takes. And not in terms of the story and stuff. I don't really mind the time it takes for the story. But it feels like some of the quests are kind of repetitive, because it's like every quest kind of end up killing 300 enemies and stuff. And you have to get money and stuff. So it does kind of become a bit too repetitive near the end. As it kind of near the end, you're like, oh, let's finish it, So it does become a bit repetitive with that. But the thing that bugs me the most is that it just, the horse riding, it's so long. It's like horse riding simulator. I didn't sign up for this. I love riding the horse. Yes, thank you. The horse riding animation is so good, especially if you buy especially if you buy an Arabian horse. Like it's like so fun to do. But it's just the horse riding in this game is, oh my god, it's so drag. It's so drag. And especially when you're looting someone, it takes like 20 seconds. And there's just so many things in this game that could have been cut down. And oh, bro. Yeah. It's just, that's one of the biggest gripes I have with this game. But it kind of balances out, or it kind of gets negated because of the story. Someone put it, I love. Because I do think it's a better game than all of these games together. But yeah, I'm gonna put Elden Ring above that because I do like it a bit more than Fortnite. Actually, no, I do play Fortnite a bit more than I play Elden Ring, so I'm gonna put it above that. Okay, I'm gonna do Minecraft and then The Last of Us because I've got something to say about The Last of Us. Minecraft, one of my all-time favorites. Actually, I love it a lot, but it's not one of my all-time favorites because yeah, no. If I could put it in the middle of these two, I would, but I'm gonna put it here because Minecraft. I love Minecraft so much. Minecraft is such a good game, and I'm not even that old, but it just like whenever I play Minecraft, it just feels so nostalgic for some reason. Like it's just like. I feel more nostalgia about playing Minecraft than I actually do like Minecraft. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm gonna put it in love, but I'm not gonna put it at the start of love. I'm gonna put it in here. Cause now that I think about it, while I do love Minecraft, I love the idea of Minecraft more than I actually love Minecraft. If you know what I mean. I love the idea of Minecraft more so than I actually do love Minecraft. What I mean by that is that I love the nostalgia about it. I love playing on the servers more than I actually like playing Minecraft because 2b2t, the oldest 2b2t, the oldest anarchy server on Minecraft, is one of my favorite servers to play on, even though it has like a wait time of like 3 hours. And the reason why is because like bro, you can find so many good so many bases in 2b2t. It feels like you're playing like a part of history. But that's another conversation. Minecraft itself, in terms of the impact that the Minecraft had in the world, phenomenal. Way more than Fortnite, way more than any single game on this page had. Minecraft had the biggest impact on the world. Minecraft, it's the #1 top-selling game for a reason. This literally revolutionized the gaming industry because #1, it brought so many content and so many careers to so many people. Dan TDM, Stampy, popular MMOs, this, that, Think Noodles, you know, this, that. Actually, I'm not really sure about Think Noodles. Oh no, he did. Yeah, he did. He had a huge Minecraft series. I watched that when I was younger. Wonderful series, very nostalgic. But Minecraft had, I love it because it had such a big, profound impact on the gaming industry. You know, it's just like you can build. So many people are so creative and they build so much things in the game, and it's just so like peaceful. Playing the game is so peaceful because you can just hop in, you know, go mining and crafting. Like there's no end to the game. There's no there's a story in that well, there's not really a story actually. There's an end goal in to kill the Ender Dragon. But after that, it's like free roam. You can do whatever you want. You can build whatever you want. And that's just so fun to me. Actually, well, not to me, actually. That's fun, but not really to me. It's not really my type of thing to do because I kind of get bored after an hour. But to a lot of people, it is very fun. And I appreciate that. But the reason why I love it so much is not because of its actual gameplay, but it's because of its music. C418 is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. C418 is the GOAT at music. He's the GOAT. Because Minecraft's music is literally what makes it nostalgic. It's 90% of the reason why it's so nostalgic in the first place. Because the music is just so good. It's so simple, but it's so good. I literally have Minecraft music in my Spotify playlist. There's just something about like C418, the original composer of the Minecraft music, of Minecraft's music. The music is so simple, but it's so nostalgic for some reason. And maybe that's just because like the game is so old. And it just feels like it just has that sense of nostalgia about it. But yeah, like that's the reason why I love it so much. Is because of the music. A lot of the stuff that I like about games, I'm realizing, is because I just love its music so much. So yeah, Minecraft's music is just so nice, and that's the reason why I love it so much. In terms of the actual gameplay itself, it's endless. It's so good. You can speed run it. You take your time in it. You can play all these servers. You can download worlds and play in those worlds. You can like build stuff. It's really fun to play. If you actually everyone talks about it, but it's actually true. Everyone has their 2 week phase of Minecraft, in which they play Minecraft for 2 weeks straight, and then they like never play it again for like 1 year, and then the next year they play it 2 weeks of Minecraft again, and then they never play for the next year. Everyone has that 2 week Minecraft phase, and it's just because everyone loves the game because it just has that sense of nostalgia about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh wow, like it's Minecraft. It has so much. It brings so much memories. Like whenever you say Minecraft, someone will know what it is because it's the best-selling game of all time. Literally revolutionized the gaming industry and sandboxes, and it's a top-selling game of all time. Probably gonna be beat by GTA 6 when it comes out this year, but it's got that. It's like Minecraft has got that. It's got that sense about it. You know what I mean? Like it's got that sense of novelty around that game. So that's the reason why I put it here. And the music in this game, top notch. Finally, my all-time favorite game, The Last of Us, Part 1. This game is phenomenal. In terms of games, this ticks all of my boxes. Every single one. There's two things that I love about video games, and if you combine them, it's my favorite game of all time automatically. And no, these prerequisites I had before I played The Last of Us. Before I even knew when I downloaded this game, I didn't even know what it was about. I knew that it was a huge game and a very, very good story game, but I didn't know what it was about. So when I downloaded the game, it was a fresh new experience for me. I had no idea it was a zombie apocalypse or anything like that. I had no idea who the girl in the front of the screen was at the time or anything. I had no idea what the game was about. All I knew was it was just a phenomenal story game. And I love story games, so I downloaded it. My love of story games, as I said earlier, is from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. My love of post-apocalyptic... There are two things that I love about video games. Number one, if it's a story game. And number two, it has a rich story. And number two is if it's a post-apocalyptic game. And I had this prerequisite before I played The Last of Us. It was actually from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild nails that post-apocalyptic vibe. In that it feels like you're alone in the world until you meet someone else. Do you know what I mean? It's like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is just, it's so good in terms of post-apocalyptic. I know I'm talking about another game before I talk about The Last of Us, but I have to kind of talk about it before I talk about The Last of Us, because you have to kind of understand where I'm coming from in terms of why I like post-apocalyptic games so much. But yes. So the reason why I love post-apocalyptic games so much because of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it just it nails the post-apocalyptic vibe in that it feels like you're alone in the world. There's a sense of lull and calm around the world, a sense of melancholy, kind of a pensive sadness. Is that what it means, melancholy? Yeah. So it's like a pensive sadness around the world, like a very melancholy vibe, and it feels like I love the idea of nature taking over, if you know what I mean. Like I love the idea of just nature, nature just taking over the world, and nature taking over buildings and things, and humanity is kind of left, and nature has kind of took over. So humanity has stopped caring or has died or something like that, and nature has taken over, and wildlife is prevalent, and wildlife is proliferated, and everywhere you go, you see the remnants of the human universe, but then you also see how nature has taken over, and there's a sense of lull and calmness, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild nails that thing, and that's because it's such a special game of mine. That's why my love of story. That's why my love of post-apocalyptic games came from, and also partly because of partly story games. But my love of story games, 50% came from Breath of the Wild, and 50% came from No, 30% came from Red Dead Redemption 2, and 20% came from Poptropica. All these three games combined, this one, and this one, all contributed to my love of story games in general. But now let's talk about The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 1. Again, my two prerequisites, this game is literally the combination of those two. If you know anything about The Last of Us, you know that it's a story game, story rich. Literally the whole game is based around the story. Like the gameplay elements and everything is based around the story. Whereas you'll see in a lot of games, the story is based around the gameplay elements. But in here, the gameplay elements, in The Last of Us, the gameplay elements are built around the story. And story rich game and post-apocalyptic game, yes. When I played this game, I love it. This game is about a guy, spoiler alert, Joel. You play as this guy. He has a wonderful, beautiful daughter. He's a single dad. And then one day, the world turns upside down as you know it. The world turns upside down as you know it. And you go with your daughter as Joel. You play from the perspective of your daughter Sarah. You go with your uncle Tommy and your dad Joel, and you go to the city center or like wherever the town center is or whatever. And then your whole world turns upside down. And you find out people are killing everyone. There's looting. There's havoc. There's like the world is just not as you know it. And then boom, you meet a guy, you meet an army man as Joel and carrying Sarah, and then bang, the army man, because he doesn't know what's going on, because the world's in havoc right now, he shoots them, and then boom, Sarah ends up dying. And it's such a powerful emotional scene, and that is just like the start of this game is so powerful and so emotional that it's like you know you're in for a good experience once you play the start of the game, you know? Because I love when games have such a impactful thing. The screen turns to black and then bang, the title card appears, or bang, the title appears. Like that's just so, it's so like impactful, especially in the case of this game, The Last of Us, because you now just set the premise for the whole game, which is Joel's daughter dying, and you don't know what the game is going to take from here, but that's just so impactful that you know the game's going to be good. And then the title card appears, and then the music plays, and oh god, the music in this game, the music is so atmospheric. You know, the person who made the game's music, Gustavo Santaella, I think that's how I pronounce his name. I'm sorry if that was wrong, but Gustavo, the way he made the music is so good. I'm gonna put the music of The Last of Us on par with the music of Minecraft in terms of how much I love it, because I love how The Last of Us music is just so atmospheric. It just feels like a sense of melancholy and lull has fell upon the world. It's like dun 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 dun, and I love this game so much. Like it's honestly such a good game, The Last of Us Part 1, and then you basically meet this man 20 years later, is now living in a QZ, in a quarantine zone, and he's a distraught man. He's still wearing the watch that his daughter gave him 20 years prior. And you can see that he's been living with this loss for 20 years. He's now a mature man. He's now a person he's a survivalist. He's not a bad person, but now he's a person who's kind of lost his morality a little bit, and he's kind of hardened. He's like a kind of hardened shell of the man he once was, and he's obviously a survivalist now, and then he meets this girl, an optimistic, jubilant. Did I use that word right? Wait, jubilant, optimistic, jubilant little girl called Ellie, and it's nearly the same age as his daughter. I think 2 years older than his daughter was at the time of her death, Sarah. But you meet this girl, and then throughout the course of the game, you as a player start to see Joel fall in love with Ellie, and you as the player yourself starts to fall in love with Ellie. and you kind of develop this. You see this platonic love foster between Ellie and Joel. You see this kind of protective love. Like, you as a player start to care about Ellie in a protective sense. You're like, no, like whenever like hunters come, you try to protect Ellie, and you develop this protective platonic love about Ellie, and you see how Joel kind of has his like Ellie starts to become his surrogate daughter, and you start to see how Joel starts to love Ellie as his daughter and start to kind of break down these walls that he's put up against himself. You kind of start to see instead of the survivalist Joel, you get to see the dad Joel, and you start to see Ellie, as a girl living in the apocalypse. You start to see how she starts to care for Joel, and you have that wonderful scene in the bedroom where it's like, everyone. Ellie says everyone who has died has either everyone that I've cared for has either died or left me. Everyone except for you, Joel. And then you see how Joel. You see how the relationship. You see this broken man, and you see how his relationship with Ellie start to change throughout the game, and you start to like love that relationship between them. And then at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, wow, And this story is just so simple, but it's so effective. It's so effective. Two people in the apocalypse, and and you just witness this. Like, you're playing as Joel and Ellie, yes, and you're immersing yourself in this world, yes, but you're also viewing this as an outsider, basically. It's like you're playing the game, but usually in games, when you're playing it feels like you're actually playing it. But in this game, it feels like you're controlling Joel, but it doesn't feel like you're playing as Joel. It feels like you're watching them as like a kind of ghost that's kind of going with them, if you know what I mean. At least that's what it feels like to me. But that's in terms of the story. But everything else in this game is so good. The graphics in this game, especially the remastered version, is so good. It's so good. Because especially the reason why I love this game even more now is because we had COVID. It's because of COVID-19. It's because we had COVID-19. So it's kind of like The Last of Us feels like the most realistic kind of zombie game / fictional world, because I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but when COVID hit here in Australia, people went crazy. I mean, people all over the world went crazy, but in Australia, people were just buying toilet paper, and people were going crazy over COVID. And COVID wasn't even that like, of course it was deadly, of course, rest in peace to everyone who lost their lives to it. But it wasn't, as deadly as something like the Black Plague or something like that. Or, all of these, other diseases, viruses. But the world still went crazy. So can you imagine just if The Last of Us, if something like the cordyceps, which is a real thing, by the way, that infects ants. That's another reason why I love the game, because it's kind of like the most realistic version in terms of actual like zombie apocalypse, like zombie as well. Can you imagine if cordyceps or like some actual zombie infection actually was real? I mean, like it feels like The Last of Us nailed it so well, because number one, the world and countries would be put under martial law. Number one, they'd be put under martial law. Number two, they would be put under martial law. Number two, there'd be quarantine zones, because the government would try to take back control. Number three, there would be havoc on the first few weeks. The first 2 weeks, there'd be absolute chaos and havoc, because no one would know what's going on. The military, the government wouldn't know what's going on. No one would know what's going on. People would try to get as much supplies as they can. People wouldn't know the difference between an infected person and a real person. They'd lose trust in each other. The government's, the people would start looting and killing, and, you'd see the real side of people. People start, trying to stock up on everything. There'd be quarantine zones. You'd probably die because you just wouldn't know what's going on. Most people would die because they just wouldn't know what's going on. And it's just so realistic. And that's the thing I love about the game so much, The Last of Us, because it just feels so real. Like, it feels like this would actually be the world if an actual apocalypse came to be. So that's something that's so real about it. And number two is that when you're going through the world, it just like when you're going and playing through the world as Ellie and Joel, and you go through like these kind of different environments. I know it's a linear game, but it's just so well done, because each environment, like really like like well done to all the 3D artists that worked on this game and created these spectacular environments, because like these environments are just so well created and curated, because it just feels like you're actually walking through a real house or a real building or a real university or something like that that's actually been taken over 20 years in the apocalypse. Because there's just clothes and stuff strewn everywhere or thrown everywhere, and you see like different messages and letters written by people that adds like another level of atmospheric storytelling, and it's just so good. Like it's just so good because there's not a lot of characters in this game, you feel attached to each and every one, especially Joel and Ellie, and you see their relationship develop, and you see the world, and you see like how people used to live, and you see how Ellie was born in the apocalypse, so she doesn't know what the world was like before that, and you see kind of their conversations, the funny conversations between Joel and Ellie, and Joel explaining what the world was like before the apocalypse. You meet different characters such as Sam and Henry that you feel so grown and attached to. You meet stuff like people like David, and you see like the kind of the amount of stress and problems that these people went to try to get to the Fireflies, and then finally they get to them. They get to the Fireflies, and this is where the game shines, because you're not playing as a hero. Joel isn't a hero; he's an anti-hero. He isn't Spider-Man. You're not playing the Spider-Man games where you're playing as Peter and you have to save everyone no matter what. You're playing as a survivalist. You're playing as a guy who's a man who's lost his daughter, found this little girl, protected her, went halfway across the country with her, spended so much time with her, starts to really care for her by the end, and then bang, spoiler alert, she's about to die because she needs to create a vaccine. And then you as a player, you don't get to make a choice, but you get to play the choice that Joel makes, which is to for his love of Ellie, he sacrifices her. He sacrifices the world for her. He rescues Ellie. Excuse me. He rescues Ellie, and while you as a player, you might not agree with that as a player, but you understand why he did it, because you've played the entire game watching the two relationships flow and develop and bloom and blossom, and you might not agree with it, but you understand why he does it. And that's the reason why I love the game so much, is because like the ending of the game, or like the choice that you make in the end of the game, is not always the right choice, or it's not always the bad choice. You see the choice that Joel made and you understand why he made it, and it's controversial because it's a very morally gray area. You're like, I really understand why Joel did it. Was it right that he did it? And a lot of people say, yeah, it is right that he did it. A lot of people say, no, that it's not right that he did it. And that's what I love about the game, and that it's very morally ambiguous ending. So I love that about the game. I think the game's ending is so good. In fact, the game's ending, actually, the very ending of the game. Let's see if we can find it on YouTube, actually. Let's see if we can find it on YouTube, actually. Who is the handsome man? The Last of Us ending. Hold on. This I think it's here.
You shot him.
Sarah.
Here, the ending of the game. This final conversation is just so beautiful and so well done.
So, she says, let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
None of that is on you.
Oh, you don't understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
That, like, the ending of that game is so good. I love how the music builds up. It goes to a crescendo. You see Ellie's face. She says, "Okay." The screen turns to black. Bam! Naughty Dog's title card. It's like, oh, that is so good. That's so good. I love that ending. I love the way that games use music and everything, in terms of the story, like to aid in storytelling, because music makes you feel a certain type of way, and that music just fit that scene so properly, and it's just so well done. Like I love that so much, and that's the reason why this game is my all-time favorite, because it ticks every box for me. Post-apocalyptic game, wonderfully rich story, wonderful environmental storytelling in terms of the letters that people leave and everything. Wonderful environments, so beautiful. The game looks so beautiful, especially the remastered version. It looks so beautiful, and it's just so well done, and I love that so much. I love that so much. Like, it takes this game ticks every box for me, and it's just one of the it's my all time favorite game. I haven't played part 2 yet. I know what happens in part 2, but I did pre-buy part 2 on Steam, so I will play that on stream when it comes out in April, the remastered version or remade. But yeah, so that's my tier list of games. You know, yeah. So The Last of Us is my all-time favorite game, and yeah, for a good reason. Yeah, that's my all-time favorite games. I hope you enjoyed.